Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. We're going to talk today about fiber. So, while everybody's hopping in and welcome this morning, it's Friday. I can't believe it's already Friday, November 1st. And let's talk about your health because this time of year, we all start getting inundated with food, right? Thanksgiving and Christmas or whatever holidays you're addressing, all of us are just overwhelmed with all of this food when we are visiting with family and friends, and yet most of us are still concerned about our health and how we can manage it. So, if you listen to a lot of people, they talk about cutting, keto, low carb, all of this stuff. Well, what happens when you go out and everyone else is having all this amazing food and you're picking through to try and figure out what fits for you? But what I really want to ask is, what if you knew that there was something that could help you through all of that? You could still enjoy all of those amazing foods, keep your health under control, and actually start to get better by just understanding this one thing: fiber. So, we're going to talk a lot about fiber this morning, why it's so important. And it's not just about pooping, it's not just about gut health. It actually is a lot about insulin resistance and blood sugar control. But let's. I want to ask a couple of questions here. So obvious and stuff, but so what does when you think of fiber, what does it mean to you, and how do you get it in your diet, or even addressing it? Because it gets really complicated, right? Some people are like, what foods give me fiber? What foods are got the fiber that I need? And that gets really complicated. So we're going to talk this morning about a way that you can get that in that's been scientifically designed and studied to improve not only your gut health, but your diabetes, your insulin resistance, your heart health, all of that. So it makes it so much easier to just have the life you love without having to worry about watching everything that you put in your mouth. Now, I'm a big advocate for keeping sugars at bay and getting all the omega 6s out of your diet. You're going to hear a lot of people say carbohydrates are not an essential nutrient, and that's right. But how many of you are at a point where you're willing to just eat meat for the rest of your life? Or you could even do that. Good morning, Blueprint. Good morning, good morning. So when they talk about fibers not, or carbohydrates are not an essential nutrient, that's great. But most of us are still eating carbohydrates. So fruits and vegetables are carbohydrates, and they create sugar in your system. Yes, you can get some glucose from meats, but again, most of us are not going to just eat meat and give up bread or ice cream or chips or all of the other stuff that we eat. Would we be healthier if we didn't? Yeah. But is it the reality for most of us? No, it's not. So in that case, when you're eating carbohydrates as a part of your daily diet, because life is meant to be enjoyed. That means better health and enjoying the things we do. But that means we have to understand fiber's role in us eating carbohydrates. So if you're a carbohydrate eater, yes, fiber is very, very important. And remember, fruits, vegetables are carbohydrates. It's not just the grains that are carbohydrates. Your fruits and vegetables, every single one is a carbohydrate. Good morning, Melba. So good to see you this morning. So now, with that, if you're a carbohydrate eater, like the majority of the planet, have you ever suffered with your blood sugar levels? Do you suspect that you have insulin resistance? Or maybe you've already been diagnosed with diabetes? Give me some hearts or one, or say me in the chat if those things are a concern to you. Because we're going to go over right now what happens when we get fiber in. So I'm going to find all my notes, you guys, and I have a ton. Fiber is traditionally thought of as that thing that it helps us go to the bathroom, right? So we know that we can have fiber, and that's going to help keep us clean and keep us regular. And most people think that fiber is something that only old people talk about, like people who are worried about having a bowel movement every day. They're the ones who are talking about fiber, and I'm young and it doesn't matter to me. Well, I'm in that stage now where I actually pay attention. Actually, I do and I don't. Blueprint, yeah, right. Um, but I do and I don't. So I'm very aware of my elimination habits because they're much healthier now than they were when I was in my 30s. And what created that healthier gut that's giving me healthier elimination, that's reducing inflammation and all of that we're going to go over now, is fiber. But it's not just any kind of fiber. So, you guys see this fiber and you see this fiber, and each one is a single source of fiber, and each one does something different. We're going to talk about those as well as the fiber I'm talking about and why they all help or don't help. So hang out. So fiber, again, isn't just about keeping things moving in your digestive system. That's important, but it's a powerhouse nutrient when you're eating carbohydrates and you're not a carnivore. Okay? Even some carnivores think they can eat fruit, so got to have fiber then. So it's a powerhouse nutrient that can help us in many, many ways, and particularly when it comes to managing our blood sugar and insulin levels. Again, it's not just about pooping, right? This is about controlling your blood sugar and your insulin levels. And so let's dive into fiber, and then I'm going to tell you what I do because it made it so much simpler for me instead of having to remember what fiber to eat, when to eat it, all of that. All right. But why am I saying fiber with insulin resistance? Before we dive into that, let's talk about, before we dive into the fiber, let's talk about why you should care about your blood sugar levels and insulin. When those two things are out of whack, it can lead to insulin resistance, prediabetes, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and a whole slew of other symptoms and disorders that are listed here or over here on Facebook. And the body stops responding to insulin when we have too much glucose hitting the system all the time. Guess what? Fiber is the thing that slows down the absorption of that sugar into the bloodstream. So again, it's not just about pooping. This is about keeping your blood sugars under control so that you can get control of your insulin resistance, diabetes, and all of those diseases and disorders. Now, not every fiber is equal, right? So a lot of people don't. And so let me ask this question. How many of you are aware that there are different types of fiber? That fiber is not just fiber. If you know that there's more to fiber than just fiber is fiber, say fiber in the chat for me so I know. But if you want to know what the difference is, just say fiber too. But the truth is, as we go along, fiber is broken up into two types. So insoluble and soluble. Now, fiber is just a non-digestible carbohydrate, right? So it's attached in nature. It's attached to every carbohydrate that we eat because it slows down the sugars in those carbohydrates from entering our bloodstream too quickly. So the universe, God, nature put this there knowing that we needed fiber if we were eating carbohydrates. Pretty freaking amazing. And yet, as human beings, we have modified our foods, packaged, processed them so much, and even genetically modified them so that they don't have as much fiber because fiber is bitter and it's tough, and most of us don't like the taste of fiber. It's not a pleasant tasting nutrient, but we need it. We need it when we're having those sweet, delectable foods or those really robust, tasty foods. Any of the things you see behind me, those have fiber in them, but they have less fiber now than they've ever had because of the way we grow and raise foods. And it's really important. So soluble and insoluble fiber. Fiber, I said, is an indigestible or non-digestible carbohydrate. Soluble, insoluble. One soaks up water, the other doesn't. And they have different purposes in our diet, okay? So let's go over soluble and insoluble fibers. Soluble fiber dissolves in water, forms a gel-like substance in your gut, and this type of fiber helps you with slowing down your digestion, which helps in controlling your blood sugar spikes, and also, amazingly, yes, it's very good for diabetes. It's very good, and that's what we're talking about today, is how great fiber is. But it's not just any single source fiber that's going to really impact your diabetes. We're going to talk about what will just a second. So the soluble fiber lowers cholesterol levels, It also feeds the good bacteria in your gut. The soluble fiber also swells up and creates bulk in your system so that you start to feel fuller and not as hungry as often. Okay. That's important because how many of you guys eat and then within 20 minutes feel like you're hungry? Like you just got to go get, you don't know why, you just had a big meal, but you're still hungry because that food is passing through you too quickly, especially when your food is high in carbohydrates. Now, a lot of people will start packaging stuff saying this is high in fiber. What you got to understand is these marketing techniques are just saying that it has a little bit more fiber than the next product next to it that is a similar product. So they can call it high in fiber if it just has marginally more fiber than the products next to it. Doesn't mean that it's actually high enough in fiber for you to be having health benefits from it. So be careful with that. Um, Insoluble fiber. That fiber does not soak up water and it's long strandy fiber. So think about the fiber you see the most ones that I can think visually are celery and bananas. You know how you get those long strands in both of those foods? That's insoluble fiber. So insoluble fiber can help. That's the one that's the broom. That's going to help you with pooping. That's going to help clean out your gut. So that helps prevent constipation and it helps reduce the risk of certain types of cancer by keeping your gut clean. But it can also help a little bit with blood sugar control, but not like the soluble fiber. Okay. So the soluble fiber you can find in things like oats, beans, lentils, apples, and citrus fruits. And the insoluble fiber you're going to find in things like whole grains, nuts, seeds, and the skins of fruits and vegetables. So, when you're cooking, do you take the skin off your food? Do you peel your potatoes? Do you peel the apples for some things? That's all the fiber that's protecting you from all the glucose that's inside, and you just removed it. That's part of what's happening with our diet today. So, how is it affecting insulin resistance? Both types of fiber can help manage your blood sugar and your insulin levels, but they do it in very, very different ways. So, when you eat soluble fiber, it slows down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. And this means you don't get those great big spikes of blood sugar. That means you get big spikes of insulin. And a lot of times when you have those big spikes of blood sugar, that's when you're really hungry after because insulin's coming in, grabbing that sugar and delivering it as quickly as it can to whatever cells will take it up. And if not, it'll deliver it to your fat cells. But the problem is those high levels of insulin, because your blood sugar spiked way too high, means that it just utilized all of the energy in your system and you're left feeling depleted. Now your blood sugar level drops. You feel fatigued and tired, like you want to just go crawl on the couch and have a nap with your blankie and some Netflix, right? So fiber is really important to help stop that whole thing from happening. So when fiber slows down this absorption of glucose, you're not getting the high insulin spike, and your blood sugars stay more normal, and everything starts to act more appropriately in your body, and you'll just start feeling much better. But insoluble fiber, while it doesn't directly slow down the sugar absorption, it still plays a crucial role in your insulin resistance because it helps move food through your digestive system more quickly, meaning you're getting less absorption of that glucose into your system. The crazy thing is, while fiber is protecting you from this spike of sugars, it's not preventing you from absorbing nutrients. And that's really key and why fiber is so amazing for us. Good morning, everybody who just jumped in. For some reason, Roland, your name popped up and was very visible to me, but welcome in. So we're talking about fiber and how it's amazing for your health, and we're going to talk about how you can get it in easier than you thought. So now, while insoluble fiber is acting like that broom and it's moving the sugar through quicker so that you don't absorb as much of it, and the soluble fiber is encapsulating that sugar so that less of it gets absorbed, that's why we need both types of fiber. So if you think about the insoluble fiber and it has those strandy things, it makes like a basket weave. And the soluble fiber soaks up water and it becomes like a gel-like substance, and that means that gel-like substance combined with the basket weave of the insoluble creates this matrix that now is helping protect you from that sugar absorption. It's helping you stay fuller longer while moving the food through in a manner that's more healthy for your body. And all of that means better blood sugar regulation and better control of diabetes, or the fact that you could even get it. I reversed my diabetes. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But now the problem is people think, how much fiber do you need? Now, because carbohydrates are not an essential nutrient, there's a lot of debate about how much fiber to get in. But let's start here. The biggest recommendation is 25 to 37 grams of fiber in a day. But most of us, eating the normal foods we eat, only get in 10 to 12 grams of fiber. Now, those recommendations are based on the fact that they're seeing that most people are not going to get a complex system of fiber in their bodies. So the recommended amount is really high because they're hoping that with that, you're going to get enough of the right kinds of fiber to really address your health issues. But from 10 to 37 is a big gap. So we know that we need to get more fiber in if we're eating carbohydrates. And that's a problem for most of us. How do we get in more fiber without continuing to get in more carbohydrates when I just said we've stripped fiber from our carbohydrates? Well, in this case, in today's world, the problem is most of our foods are just not dense enough in nutrients, and we do need to supplement. To get the amount of fiber that you need in, you'd have to eat about a bushel of broccoli a day. Oh, I haven't done a price check on broccoli, but I bet you that a bushel of broccoli is going to cost you more than $5 a day. You're going to have to cook it. You're going to have to store it. You're going to have to do that every single day to get that recommended daily dosage of fiber. But it doesn't have to be that hard. We're going to talk about it. The system that I do is it's changed my life and my gut, and it's reversed my diabetes. You guys, we're going to talk about all of that. So, go back to some of my notes here. So yeah, the two types of fiber are really necessary. When you're just getting one type, wheat dextrin or psyllium husk, this can help a little bit with blood sugar. This is just really great for pooping, but neither one are really drastically reducing your blood sugar levels. And I don't want to have to scoop and mix stuff all the time. So we need both types of fiber. We need that matrix of fiber to really impact our health. And we're meant to have that when we're eating carbohydrates. We just, again, have stripped it out and allowed our bodies to have this amazing stuff that we need. So I'm getting tons of messages coming in. They're just kind of distracting me today. Another thing I want to say is, in all the studies that I've done or read, or I haven't done them, I've read them, some of the things that I found that were really interesting is when we look at that 10 grams of fiber. So if you wake up and you have some fiber in the morning, 5 grams or whatever fiber, good morning, Alethea. So Aletha. So when we have this fiber in the morning, it gives us some blood glucose regulation right away. But there's a lot of evidence that shows that even having that fiber in the morning, 4 to 5 hours later, can still impact your blood sugar levels, but at a greater amount now when it's been in the gut and doing its job. So we drink fiber right with the meal, and that's great. But that fiber keeps building, and that's why I drink more than one a day. I say drink, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. Yes, I eat fiber in my normal day, but I don't probably get in enough, so I'm supplementing. I don't get in enough. That's how I ended up diabetic in the first place, right? All right, so when you increase fiber, though, you're going to notice that your gut's going to have some issues because you're not used to it. So let's talk about that real quick. Anytime we go from the baseline of what most of us are having with fiber and we add more in, remember, it's creating bulk in your gut. It's creating this cleaning system in your gut. So you're going to have some discomfort in your gut immediately because your gut's not used to dealing with this amount of fiber. Your body's got to change and go, hey, we're not doing the old thing anymore. We're doing this new thing where we're actually working. The way we're eating right now keeps our gut, I'm going to call it flaccid. It's not the right word, but our gut muscles just are not working currently. So it would be like if you never did squats and you weren't out walking and you weren't doing any of those things, and you're like, I'm going to get healthy today. I'm going to go in the gym and I'm going to do all these squats. Or I'm going to go take a long walk. your legs are going to be sore the couple of days after, right? Fiber is the same way. If you're not used to getting in the right amounts of fiber, expect to have a little discomfort at first, but that's a good sign. That means your gut's getting stronger. That means you're getting healthier. That means that in a few weeks, you're not going to have that problem anymore unless your gut's just really, really out of control. And then it could take a month. But just understand that there's a little discomfort, not a negative thing, but I'm getting stronger kind of discomfort that happens when you start to get in more fiber. Ali says fiber is so hard to get enough of. And I agree. Give me a few more minutes, Ali, and I'm going to show you what I do to get fiber, and that completely changed my life. Because if it wasn't for this, I would probably still have swollen feet, high diabetes, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, all the stuff that's gotten better for me by having fiber and understanding some of this stuff. Now, to be honest, I didn't understand any of this when I started. I just knew I needed help, and I tried it and it worked. And so then I was like, why did it work? And now we're here today. Okay. Um, so I hope you know that getting in a variety of fibers now, because we've talked about insoluble and soluble, um, is what we talked about. Now that means a variety of fibers. Ali, I'm here for it because you're trying, and it's so hard to manage your other macros and have. Oh, Hashimoto's is an inflammatory disease, and that links in highly. Ali, I actually have a lot of women, and I was Hashimoto's as well, who have overcome their symptoms of Hashimoto's by addressing their gut health, fiber, and getting their insulin under control. So hang out, because this can help you. I've had so many women who really suffered. And those of you who don't know, Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disorder that affects your thyroid. And when you have that, Hashimoto's in the beginning goes from you could have periods of high thyroid function to periods of low thyroid function. And so it's really confusing because there's times when you have high energy and you're just like burning through your food and everything feels like you're just have tons of energy. And then you go to points where your thyroid is just not functioning and you're feeling slowed down, you're feeling tired and you're feeling lethargic and your brain just doesn't want to work. And so you have this wide swing. But as Hashimoto's goes on, it turns from this swing between hyper and hypo, or high and low, to just always being low. Now your thyroid is tired because it's been under attack for so long and it just doesn't function. You never feel like you have energy. You're always on the couch, crashed out and feeling tired and hurting from the inside out. Hashimoto's is devastating. So Ali, I'm here for you because I suffered with all of that too. And I went to endocrinologist after endocrinologist, and nobody could seem to get it under control with Hashimoto's because it's autoimmune. I'm talking about fiber, but I want to talk about this. They have a hard time because of those swings in your thyroid function. That what they gave you for like Synthroid is what they put me on, and then I went on Armor Thyroid. But that dosage changed every time I went in, because one time my thyroid would look normal and the next time it would look overactive and the next time it would look underactive, and then it started just being underactive all the time. Hashimoto's. Okay, inflammation starts in your gut. Most diseases that are autoimmune are linked to this inflammation in the gut, and this is where fiber kicks in because it's going to help regulate your gut health and get some of that inflammation out so that those autoimmune disorders are less impactful in your life, if at all. Okay, so let's hold on to that for a second. Now, the fiber that I use, we know that fiber is important. We know that a variety of fibers is important. And Ali, this is what I do. And I'm going to show you guys right now. So again, I'm not eating. I do some intermittent fasting. I won't eat for another couple of hours. But now understanding how important fiber is, I have no problem doing fiber in my fasting window. This doesn't break my fast as far as insulin goes because it's actually creating short chain fatty acids. What does all of that mean? When I drink this fiber, drink it, right? So I just put that fiber in this water, not that much, shake it up. I'm going to drink it. Now, as this fiber hits my gut, the positive microbiome in my gut are going to start to feed on this fiber. And that fiber, that feeding, the process, I call it off-gassing of that microbiome eating this fiber, creates short chain fatty acids. So in a fasted state, what this is doing is it's increasing my ketones and my ability to burn fat because of the short chain fatty acids. Short chain fatty acids cue me to produce ketones and burn fat for fuel, saying, yeah, we need all of that. And so those short chain fatty acids cue that from this fiber. Now it helps boost my fat burning state. So I actually, even though the system comes with just one of these, I drink 2 of the fiber to 3 of the fiber a day because I love what it does for my internal health, not just my diabetes, which I don't have anymore. My A1C is in normal range, my triglycerides in normal range, everything looks good. I'm not clinically diabetic anymore. And this is a big reason. This is all I really changed. I still have hamburgers. Yesterday I had tomato soup and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then I had chicken mole with some refried beans and a tortilla. Not carnivore, not low carb. My blood sugars are still in range. My energy is in range. Everything is good because I add fiber in before those carbohydrates. This is hard to do. KT, I don't know what's hard to do. So talk to me, give me a little bit more so I can understand and maybe try and help explain how this is actually so simple. So for me to get in fiber, that's all I did. 7 different soluble and insoluble fibers scientifically combined to actually address your insulin resistance, your blood sugar levels, and your cholesterol levels. We're going to go over that. This is it's in my profile. If you just go to my profile, right under the red lights, there's a link, and you'll be able to get it there. Okay, so this is how I make sure that I get my fiber in every day, whether I'm eating tons of fruits and vegetables or not. This is how I get my fiber in and affect my gut health. TikTok is wonderful, but sometimes it really ticks me off. So anyway, it's restricting my live feed. You guys, thank you for being here. But all right, let's get back into fiber and why this is so important and why that particular fiber is so much better. Okay, so it has a proprietary fiber matrix in it, and that's got both the soluble and insoluble fibers I talked about from multiple sources. Including things like guar gum, locust bean gum. Those are fibers. Those are the soluble fibers they make that gum-like substance. It has citrus, pectin, oat fiber, a bunch of different things. And the diverse fiber profile in that supplement helps address the need for a variety of fiber intake. So now this has like 4 grams of fiber in it, but it's more effective because it's 7 different types of fiber that are really giving you effect. If you tried to get the same effect from a single source fiber, that's when you have to take in so much fiber to get this effect. Now, this can reduce a blood sugar spike by about 10%. Right? This one has really no studies that it will affect your blood sugars. The one I just drank will reduce blood sugar spike by up to 43% when taken with a meal. I don't know about you. 10% or 43%. If I have to drink something to affect my health, I want something that's going to give me the most bang for my buck, and that's this, because of that matrix of fibers. So, but not only does it have that matrix of fibers, this supplement that I just took has something called phytosterols in it. And the phytosterols are plant-derived compounds that are included in that fiber to help support healthy cholesterol levels, and it helps lower cholesterol so that you're having less heart problems. So it makes it more heart healthy than just a normal fiber. And then, because this company believes so much in your metabolic health and really addressing this thing called insulin resistance, they added in a panel of vitamins and minerals. Not just any vitamins and minerals, but ones that are really specifically there to help impact your metabolism and your heart health. Okay, so you're getting in a variety of fibers, you're getting in phytosterols that are heart healthy, you're getting in vitamins and minerals that are heart healthy and metabolic healthy in one little drink that I just, that has boosted my health so much more than anything else could. So, or did. You guys, I'm going to pause for a second. We're going to go back to fiber and all these things. But when I started the system, the truth is that my health was failing. I just had a really raw and in-depth conversation with somebody the other day, and like 3.5 years ago when I started this, my health was so bad. I thought, I knew, felt, my doctor knew that I was dying. And I was not going to be here on this planet for very much longer if something didn't change. Almost everything you see on this list, I suffered from. In my life, I would pray at night that just let me be done. I'm tired. I don't want to live like this anymore. It's painful. It's embarrassing. And this is not me. This is not the life I signed up for. I don't want to do it. So 3.5 years ago when I found this, and it changed my health so that I could walk up and down stairs, that I didn't have sleep apnea, that I didn't have skin tags and headaches and brain fog and all the other stuff, swelling and edema and IBS, all the stuff went away. That was pretty impactful for me, and it changed my entire life. And that's why I'm talking about it, because I know that if I was suffering and didn't understand this, there's a ton of other people out there who need to know that life doesn't have to be like this. And if we understand that, addressing the root cause of why we're sick, which is our food, our imperfect food, we can actually take our health back and live a life that we were meant to live. Okay? So this particular supplement not only has all of that in it, but this is what it does as far as when we're talking about fiber and insulin resistance management. So you get a boost of fiber that's quick. I didn't have to cook a bunch of broccoli. I didn't have to eat a whole big salad. I didn't have to do any of that. I drank this down. Now I have fiber that's in my gut, helping me with feeding my good gut bacteria, helping me with my being more insulin sensitive, and helping me with regulation of my sugar. Because even when we're in a fasted state, our body is pulling glucose and dumping sugar back into our bloodstream so that we have energy. We still want some regulation of that. But so blood sugar management, it's convenient, but we also get some appetite control. Now I'm in a fasted state. I'm not really hungry because I drink tea that we talked about yesterday every morning, but this helps me with the gut issues that I do have. I have ADHD and autism, and I'm native. Along with that comes a lot of gut issues, anxiety, worry, all of this stuff. So then I get this really upset tummy, and this helps me with that, much less the blood sugar control and diabetes control and the heart health. Okay. It does a lot for me that I didn't know in the beginning it was going to do. I just knew in the beginning I wanted to get my diabetes under control and maybe lose some weight. Happy pre-birthday. Should return that bills out for button it. Not sure what that is, Stan. Okay. So I don't know what that comment was at all. That's got me floored. Okay, but you get appetite control from it. You get that cholesterol support, and it's a comprehensive approach to your insulin resistance. So the fiber is key. I talked a lot about the tea yesterday, and the tea is amazing. But what happens when you combine, and some of you may not have heard about the tea, but when you combine these two things together, now you have a real approach to addressing your insulin resistance and your diabetes and your weight management. So this, you want to drink with your meal, right when you have it. And it's easy. When I go to a restaurant, if I go out to eat, I just throw one of these in my purse. I ask for a glass of water with no ice, and I just mix it up with a spoon, drink it down when my food arrives. That's it. That's all I had to do. I don't have to worry about, gosh, I got to order a big salad and down that and hope that it works to manage the bread that they put in front of you, to manage all the other stuff. I don't have to worry about it. I just drink this, and it's portable. I can't take this into this restaurant, but this goes with me everywhere. So that's it. And you really only have to do this one time a day before your meal with the most carbohydrates, because we really want to slow down that blood sugar spike. Again, on a high carbohydrate meal, this can reduce that carbohydrate or blood sugar spike by 43%. That's important. So I want to talk a little bit about, now this, I want to also say this before I get going, you guys. This is listed in the PDR, Prescriber's Digital Reference. That's where all your medications are found, where your doctor and your pharmacist look up medications. And they're supposed to be able to tell, like, if you're taking another medication, interacts with it, don't do that. If you have a certain condition, you shouldn't be taking this medication. They're supposed to look up all of that, and it's lots and lots of information. This is listed in the PDR. This is not. Why? Because this actually has specific clinical studies that show that it impacts insulin resistance, diabetes, blood sugar, cholesterol in such a way that this third party, the PDR, allowed it to be in there. So lots of science behind it. It's not just any fiber supplement that you're throwing in your gullet. It's something that's actually working and has been proven to work. So that comment still is distracting me. I should remove it. So when we look at that, how does it actually work though? Right? Does it actually work? Well, beyond the satiety and the blood sugar control, I want to share a couple of stories with you. So Sarah was somebody who used the system. She's 42, a mother of two. She struggled with her weight, fatigue, and blood sugar management. And by adding this system in, she experienced a significant decrease in her appetite. She had fewer cravings for sugary snacks. Her blood sugar level stabilized, and she felt more energetic throughout the day. And over 6 months, she lost 18 pounds, and she thought she couldn't lose weight. So 18 pounds for somebody who's highly diabetic and insulin resistant in 6 months is huge. And that's actually a healthy weight loss. I lost 55 pounds in 6 months doing the same thing. But not only did she lose the weight, she saw improvements in her overall health markers, including her cholesterol levels and her blood pressure. We believe in this so much that we now have an A1C test that you can order. And if you're interested in that, when you start the system, it's like $49. You do it at home. You do an A1C when you start the system to see where you're at. And then in 90 days, you do it again, and that will show you, did it work for you? Is your insulin resistance getting under control? Because your A1C coming down means you're getting that insulin under control. So we have that. Who else offers a blood test along with their product and their claims to show you that it's working, to give you that comfort? I don't know of any other company that does that. And that's important. But let's talk about a little bit more. So for me, when I started it, I couldn't walk. I had a walker, I had a cane, I couldn't go up and down stairs. I was basically homebound except for when I drove for Lyft and Uber because I could no longer work in medical. I couldn't be up on my feet all day anymore. It changed my life. It took, in the first month, I didn't lose any weight, and I was a little despondent. I was more than a little despondent. I was a little pissed off. Like, I thought I was supposed to lose weight, and I'm not losing any weight. Well, I got reminded weight loss is not the key here. Inch loss is, because fat by volume weighs less than muscle by volume. One of the key things with adding fiber in is that you are maintaining muscle while you're losing fat. A lot of other methods to lose weight, you start losing muscle along with the fat. This maintains muscle weight and actually helps you increase your muscle weight, natural muscle weight. When you're insulin resistant, you're losing a lot of muscle. And so your weight really becomes more fat. When I started, I didn't lose weight, but I went and I didn't even take my measurements. You guys, how did I not do all of that? But I didn't. But I bought a pair of shorts that were way too tight. I couldn't button them up, but I wanted to be the cool chick that summer, right? So they had like all the little rips and tears, and this was like 3.5 years ago. But when I bought them, I had just ordered the system, and I'm like, I'm going to fit into these shorts by summer, come hell or high water. Hadn't lost any weight, but I went and grabbed those shorts, and 1 month in, the shorts that I couldn't button when I bought them now were buttoning, and they were loose around the tummy and the legs. By 3 months, I couldn't wear them anymore and had to get them away. I think I wore those shorts 3 times because I forced myself to, because I bought them. But they didn't fit me by the time summer came. So it really did work. And I was still eating hamburgers. Not that I recommend that, but I'm saying I was imperfect and I was still able to do it. But let's talk about somebody else. So Mark, he's 55, type 2 diabetes. He started the system just to manage his blood sugar and hope for some weight loss like I did. And right away, he had noticed improvements in his blood sugar readings because he was doing the daily blood sugars. It helped him slow down the carbohydrate absorption, leading to more stable glucose levels throughout the day. So instead of periods of high glucose and low glucose, they were more stable, and his energy remained stable throughout the day. He lost 10 pounds in 3 months without any big diet changes. So if instead of, like, I'm not saying that I don't want people to eat better, that's not the thing. But for most of us, it's tough. We're struggling to manage all of the other stresses in our life, and then adding in eating a whole new way is really difficult for most people. So what I love about the system is that it allows you to start where you're at, implement this, and then start implementing better eating habits as you go along to more impact your health. But most people are not ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater and change everything in their diet when they start. And if they do, they can only manage it for a few weeks and then they fail. This allows you to make changes more slowly while still getting results for your blood sugar levels and your health overall. So that's what he did. His doctor, they did some blood panels within the first 3 months, and his doctor was shocked by his cholesterol improvement that they had been working on and were not able to impact. And instead of another medication, by adding this in, his cholesterol levels actually started to improve. So his doctor was like, what the heck did you do? And then there's Lena. She's 60 like me, but she used it to support her heart health. I didn't know that it would support my heart health in the beginning. Nobody talked about that. So after 3 months, her cholesterol levels dropped significantly, and her doctor was able to reduce her cholesterol medication dosage, and eventually she's able to get off of those medications. Within the first 3 months, all of that happened. She started titrating off of medication, started doing better. She lost 8 pounds, and she said it's because between these two things, her appetite was gone. She didn't have so much need to eat all the time, and that helped her lose weight and manage everything else. So that's just a couple of people. And if that sounds like you and you want to start feeling better, then reach out to me. Use the link in my profile. We'll have a conversation if you want. You can order if you want, but the products are in my profile. I'm going to drop them in over here on Facebook and YouTube. Okay. So it's an amazing system that's changed so much in my life and helped me with so much more. Now, yesterday I talked so much about chlorogenic acids. If you guys on TikTok, if you guys missed the chlorogenic acids, go to YouTube. That's there. I'll be putting up some clips from that talk yesterday. Chlorogenic acids are highly present in this tea, and there's like 13 major health benefits to that. So again, when we combine this fiber that's addressing blood sugar and this tea that's addressing blood sugar, insulin sensitivity, and energy, now we have a system that naturally works to help you start feeling better. But yesterday, when I was talking about chlorogenic acids, I mentioned something that, I know where it's at. I mentioned that there's some other components in the tea that I wanted to talk about, and I just didn't have time yesterday. So some of those other components are going to be theobromine and mate-saponins. They're just chemical compounds that are naturally occurring in the tea. But the theobromine that's in this tea, so chlorogenic acids does this great amount of work for us, gets us mental clarity, gets us energy, gets us feeling satiated from all the food, so we're not eating as much. But theobromine in this, and these three things, chlorogenic acids, theobromine, and mate-saponins, are called adaptogens. So the big thing before I jump into those two other pieces is that these adaptogens help mediate the effects of caffeine. So you get some TikTok is having a fit with me today. It might not be the platform for any of us trying to do good work anymore because they've just become crazy. Like, it reminds me of pre-COVID when everybody was like, you can't say this, you can't say that. But anyway, so it gives you energy, but the theobromine helps your mood. They help with caffeine. That's where I was talking. It helps with caffeine because instead of getting this really big energy boost and then you have a crash later, this helps give you that energy boost with no crash afterward. When you start to come off of the energy, it's a very slow, you don't even really notice it. All of a sudden, you'll be like, hey, maybe I need to drink another tea. It's not this I call it slam you against the wall and drop you to the floor kind of energy that like Bang Energy, Red Bull, all those things give you. And this doesn't hurt your heart. It's actually building heart health. The theobromine and mate supplements. So theobromine, why that's important and that it's so high in this particular drink is it gives you mood enhancement. It helps with sustained energy. It helps with your heart health. It helps with cognitive health. And it has antioxidant properties in it. Those are all things I think most of us want and need. And then the mate supplements can help with weight management. They have biological effects, particularly in the realm of weight loss and fat burning, because they help suppress appetite and support healthy weight management. But they also have a role in lipid metabolism, fat metabolism, how you burn fat. So there are studies that suggest that these mate saponins can influence that fat metabolism, and that helps support healthy cholesterol levels as well as your weight. But the mate saponins also have anti-inflammatory properties. And so when we were talking earlier about Hashimoto's, chlorogenic acids have a lot of anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, microbial properties, but the mate saponins in this also have a great amount of anti-inflammatory effects. So things like Hashimoto's are less likely to be a problem because you're reducing inflammation in the system. Julie's Hunger-Free Life. Good morning, Julie. And or Jewel, is it Julie? Julie's, yes. Okay, welcome in. So, but it also helps, the mate saponins are also helping with blood sugar regulation, and they're helping with digestive health. So again, it's a synergistic system that helps you get everything under control. And it's two real food products that are not adding in more medications. They don't interact with medications. They're just clean and simple, putting back in the things that are stripped from our diet. So that's how I do it. I do a tea in the morning, and I broke this news yesterday. So this is about a 40-ounce mug. The teas are meant to be mixed in about 20 ounces of water. What I do is I mix both of my teas up in this mug, and then I just carry it around with me and drink it throughout the day so that I make sure that I'm getting in 2 of my tea in a day. Because with ADHD, I'll drink one and then I'll forget if I don't have it mixed up. That's how I do it. So this mug, it goes with me everywhere. When it's empty, I'll switch to water. Maybe I'll have another one. And then this, you saw me drink one this morning, but what you'd never see is that before I eat, like the tomato soup, peanut butter jelly sandwich I had yesterday, I'll have this before that because I want to make sure I'm getting blood sugar control in. And that's how I reverse my diabetes and hypertension, and how so many other people around the world are doing it too. Again, if you're interested in it, or if you just need to ask me questions, go to the link that I provided on Facebook, YouTube, or go to the link in my profile, and there's a way to get a hold of me there if you want to ask more questions. You can look at my website and get more answers, but you guys don't skip on the fiber in your diet. And here's the thing. You could get in fiber that you knew was going to regulate your blood sugars, help you with your diabetes, help you with weight management, help you with your heart health. And all you had to do was open up a packet and put it in water and not worry about, did I get the right foods in today to give me the right amount of fiber that I need? Did that make all of this much easier for you? Because it did for me, and it's done it for thousands of others. And that's why I'm talking about it all the time. Okay, guys, I am going to go get some work done. I appreciate you hanging out with me. TikTok, I don't appreciate you this morning, but, it's like the more we try to do good stuff, like There's people out there talking about Mounjaro, Ozempic, tirzepatide, all of these drugs that are actually damaging people, and they're not restricted. And yet, I'm talking about a natural product that has proven to help thousands of people worldwide, and I get restricted. Craziness in this world today. All right, we'll see you guys Monday. If you have any questions or you want me to talk about anything in particular, use that link and just message me and tell me what you want, and we will go over that. But otherwise, I will see you Monday. Have a good weekend. Please, please spend time if you have a regular work day or work week. Spend time with your family and friends. Put the phones down. Just really engage back in life with the people you love and build those relationships. Actually, that's a tip. When you get your cortisol levels down, when you get that ooh ah feeling from those interactions with the people you love, it actually can improve your insulin sensitivity. So that's one thing that doesn't cost you anything to do, just a lifestyle change. Pay attention to your family and friends, engage with them, and do something that makes you happy. We'll see you Monday. Have a great day.